can you remember the first time that Guttermouth came onto your radar? Were you there in the early 90s when they were coming up?
Um, Probably not early '90s, but probably later '90s or so. Early '90s, I was touring a lot, so I was kind of just on the road mostly. But it was more with um, with like my surf band, like my surf garage band. We were doing a lot of shows, so I was kind of out of town a lot. So, but that I always liked the band, but really when they really came into like my radar or whatever was more when we were touring with them a lot too, because that's when I really got to know them. When you spend like 5 weeks or 6 weeks with somebody, and we did a bunch of tours with them. That's when I really got to know them. Because to me, I could be a fan of a band or anything, but it's once you actually spend time with people and you get to really know them is where you really get to, you know, I think appreciate it more too. God, my stand here. Um, so yeah, I always liked the band. I saw them play some shows, but really, as far as anything, I think that the touring experience together was the thing that really sold me or sealed the deal with me with them too. So, and then I got the opportunity to go play with them a little bit too, which was fun. Pretty crazy, but
Well, so how did that happen? You were just crossing paths and they needed someone at the time.
well, so we did it. We were doing these tours, and I remember they had their drummer Alex, which I don't think Alex is in the band anymore. I think it's AJ, but Alex also played. He was the drummer. He played with Bam Margera, and he was so in Bam's band. Bam was going to go. You know Bam, right? He's a pro
I know
skater.
Bam. I was watching an interview with Bam yesterday. Apparently, he's now playing with a drummer that's been in Leftover Crack.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I don't. I haven't. He's been off my radar for a while, but at the time, Alex, he was. They were actually pitching a show for Alex to be in too. But Alex was kind of in some of that show with him. So Bam got married in Iceland, and so Alex was going to Iceland to go for Bam's wedding to go play or whatever. So they're like, "Hey, you want to, after I do these guys and been on them for so long, they're like, hey, you want to come, you know, sit in with us or whatever, do some shows." So I did some shows with them, and we did a show at the Whiskey that they got banned at afterwards, which was fun. And I did a few other shows with them too, Palm Springs and a couple other things too. So and then it actually came to a point where Mark was like, "Hey, well, do you want to do more shows with us? Like, do you want like I was kind of at a crossroads between do I quit my band and join them or vice versa?" And I just stuck with my band at the time, Agent Orange, because I was already playing in it and already a member and everything too. So, but those are fun trips and saw some crazy shit, I guess. you know.
Well, on that very subject, Jeff specifically told me to ask you about the show at the Whiskey.
Oh yeah. Well, so the thing. So how do I put this? Well, Mark was in rare form that evening, and he was he was intoxicated. I'll say that. So the things I remember I'm like they're playing drums. Justin's playing. I think Justin's playing bass, and Jeff was playing guitar, and I think Matt was playing guitar. Justin's cousin. So I remember at one point, um, Mark starts to. Oh, so one point, Mark's shorts. Because Mark always wore those like elastic band, like basketball shorts or whatever. So they're always. I mean, man, you just want to pull those things down when he plays, which I know you're not supposed to, or whatever. So at some point, somebody pulls the shorts down, and I'm playing drums, and I look over, and all I see is his bare ass on the stage, and I look over and I see Justin. We're just laughing our asses off, like laughing about it. And then at one point, Mark blacks out and like nosedives in the audience, and I think he hit some girl or like I think he landed on some person or some girl, and like just just got all fucked up, and there's like blood and all this stuff too. And then next thing, you know, Justin just takes over it, and now Mark just vanishes, and we're playing. I think the rest of the set was just Justin singing, and Mark just vanished. So, and then there was then there was a thing about God, that was some years ago. There was something about a wallet and cocaine and all these other things that happened too. And then there was a thing with a car, and I don't know. That's probably all I should say about it. But it was pretty nuts. And then there, Mark's girlfriend at the time drove her car like an hour with the parking brake on and completely destroyed the brakes. So that was the end of the evening. Anyway, That's all. I think what details I can really say about that without being incriminated. So
That's fair enough.
yeah. So it was breaks, cocaine, alcohol, injury, missing singer, bass player takes off in vocals, and there was a bare ass for hours. So there you go.
Sounds like a typical Guttermouth show.
Oh no, totally.
So, who did you get along with the best in Guttermouth? Was Mark difficult to be around at any point?
No, he was fine. Everybody has their moments on the road because I really do like Mark and stuff. I think Mark. Um, I mean, I guess probably Jeff was probably the closest guy, but I mean, I was friends with them too. Like they have Justin in the band, and Justin is like that guy's insanely talented, dude. That guy he'll play drums, he'll play bass, he'll play guitar, and he'll sing. He plays and he plays all three like equally good too. It's not like you're losing anything by him taking over. So I always really respected Justin a lot in the band because he kind of was like this glue, and I really do like Justin. I just haven't talked to him in a while, but like Jeff, I think maybe Jeff and Justin were the two guys I was the closest with because the rest of them, there was always revolving kind of members too in the band because there was like occasionally Justin's cousin Matt will play guitar in it. They had AJ that plays drums sometimes. They had Dave Luckett that was in the band for a long time too. Mark's always a constant too. Mark's fun and Mark's crazy and he's a super nice guy and just sometimes he's unpredictable. But I think also now you look at all your punk rock heroes or all these people, you play shows with a tour with them, they're all kind of mellowing out too because they're just getting older too. It's like there's always still those moments, you see. So, but those guys were fun to like tour with though. We did a lot of just stupid shit on the road with them too, just like pranks and stuff. At least I did with them. So,
Well, when I had Jeff on, we talked a little bit about Mark's mental health. So,
mhm.
did you notice anything at the time? Any psychological things that might have been going on with him?
Well, I mean, I, I, I saw some stuff, but there was stuff, but there also the thing too is that there was always a lot of alcohol involved with it, with the shows and everything. I mean, a lot. So, um, like we used to kind of share when we toured, and we'd share, but the writers would take kind of mix together too. So it would be like there'd be, everybody gets dinner buyouts and food or whatever. And there's always snacks, and there would always be like a really big bottle of vodka. There's always 2 bottles of wine, and there was always like 2 cases of beer or something too. And a lot of times, even before the show, a lot of that would be gone. So um, there was some interesting instances when we were on tour with them too. So and like one of them, there was a big physical altercation that happened in Colorado when we were on tour. I don't know if Jeff brought that one or not too, but that was nuts. And
possibly when he punched the woman.
yeah, so okay, well at least so Jeff said it, so then I don't. I'm trying to like not be like an asshole about stuff because I really like these guys too. So yeah, that evening I had a friend of mine that I went to high school with that lives in that town in Colorado. So we would do these tours and we would switch back and forth who played last. You just trade off. So that was the night we played before them, and we played. And I remember that evening too. Like Mark was in pretty rare form. He was really like pretty fucked up before we even played, or before they played. I remember that, and I remember that show specifically too because I got my drums off the stage, and then I'm sitting there, and Jeff's standing there too, and there's Mark, and Mark is like 1,000 mile stare bobbing and weaving, right? And he's like, "I love you," blah blah blah, like puts his arm around me and stuff, and almost falls over. We almost fall over a thing, and like Jeff's like man, you got to watch Mark tonight. He's like in rare form. We're like, and he's laughing. Oh, okay, haha, like laughing. I go outside with my friend during their set for a little bit because we're just talking. I haven't seen him in a while. And like he's having a cigarette and stuff. I'm like, oh, let's go back in the club. So during Guttermouth set, we walk in the club, and man, it was like a car hit the stage or something. Like it was just like nuts. It was like I didn't know what the fuck was going on. It was like all this mayhem, and Mark's on stage and he's yelling at the audience yelling them back and stuff. And so at one point they yank Mark off the stage from it. This is post all the stuff that happened. And then I find out what happened with the thing with the girl. So they pull him off, and then there was another band that was putting out a protest, and the Guttermouth guys, they somehow get Mark out of the audience, and like his he was like a doll, like a string, like a marionette, just all weird. So they pull him up. He gets back on stage, and this is after they'd kicked the shit out of him. Their people were kicking him, kneeing him, punching him, all this stuff too. All these guys that are pissed off at him. He gets back on stage. They put him up. What's the first thing he does? He gets the microphone and he goes, "You guys have a collective IQ of 25." He just starts insulting the audience again. It's so Mark. It was so rad. So, and then there's like more mayhem ensued. But basically, what happened in that situation? He was so fucked up. He gets on stage and he couldn't see. I will defend him on this too. The lights were super bright. He couldn't see. Some girl gets on stage. I sincerely believe he couldn't tell who it was, and she starts punching him. So he defends himself, and he winds up punching a girl, but it wasn't. He's not a womanizer or a woman beater, and that's when all hell broke loose because these guys were like, "You punched a girl," and they like grabbed her. But I felt like he was defending himself. So, yeah.
Well, Jeff said that girl was making all these like social media posts about how she's going to go to the show tonight to beat up Mark.
Yeah. So it was all preconceived, and I think she was more. I think she was more of an Agent Orange fan than she was a Guttermouth fan anyway, too. So she was there just to like start shit with him or whatever, too. But so then he had cracked ribs and everything too. So the following shows for like the next week of that tour, he was like this, holding his ribs, and he was sober and he was on best behavior. And those are actually the best shows I saw them. Like when they played was when he was sober too. So, but then everything kind of gets back to slowly slides back into where things were before too. So, but yeah, that was pretty crazy. There was like a few other stuff like that too I saw with them, of course.
Yeah. Well, do you think he'll sober up in the future? Like, is he close to doing that, do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. The last couple of times I saw him, he seemed pretty good, but it's been a while too. Because like that kind of goes back to I'm just like this hermit in the studio all the time, so I haven't been to a punk show in a while. But I wish him the best. I hope he finds it because it's like, nothing wrong with partying, having fun, but man, at some point you gotta kind of take care of your body too. And he's no spring chicken. He's probably like 60 or pushing 60. So, we're all getting old. I haven't drank in like 10 years, so I'm in my 50s. So it's at some point you gotta you'll wind up in a gutter or something. I don't know. So I guess on this end of life, I'm just trying to survive or be better myself. I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
So did you listen to the Teriyaki Moto album?
Yeah, I haven't heard in a while. So there was a lot of some of those songs were stuff that I played on too. I mean, not record obviously, but like 70s, and there were some other songs that I did when I was playing with them too. So yeah, I was listening. I was checking. Yeah, it's just been like a while since I've even heard that record. So.
Okay, so am I insane, or is this Teriyaki Moto album not the greatest production of all time? There's nothing in my music collection that sounds as good as this. It's not the songs, it's not the band, it's the production quality of this. Nothing is like it. This is so good. Am I insane here, or can you hang with me on this?
Well, I guess if I get nitpicky on it, because I started nitpicking it when I was listening to it. I thought the vocals are kind of low on the mixes a little bit too, but no. Overall, I think it's a good record though, and I think that record definitely with that band, like if anything, it's got the right vibe of them too. Because I think you can't like someone like Guttermouth, you don't want to overproduce it, right? So it needs a little bit of it's tight, but it's still like it's got like a loose vibe to it too, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Well, when I hear it, I just think I can hear everything crystal clear. So, what did you listen on? Were you listening to CD or YouTube?
I listened to streaming on it. So I listened like on my phone. I put it in my studio a little bit and listened to it too. So, but overall, yeah, it's good. I think it's a good punk record. As far as production wise and everything too. Like. And then I nitpick mix a little bit, and I was like, I would have liked to hear the vocals a little louder on it too, but that's just me.
Yeah, I didn't really notice low vocals. I just think everything kind of sounds perfect. But okay, so kind of a difficult question, but if you were going to recreate the sound of that album, what would you be using? What kind of equipment do you think they were using back then?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's always a tough question when it's for recordings because there's so many specifics on that stuff too. It's like that room, that guy, those microphones, that that board, those mic pre's, that like all that stuff too. So that's actually a tough one because it's like when you recording, I always feel like if you're trying to recreate something, you're opening Pandora's box on that because it's there's so many like variables on that to actually recreate it. It's like that time, it's those people because half the sound comes from the people playing too. That lineup that he had at the time too. It's the same thing. So that would be tough because even when I did that, even some of the songs on that record I recorded. I did the whole enchilada. I did like half that record, the red version, like the live one. I recorded it here. We didn't record Mark's vocals because he was out of town, but we did all of the music stuff here with that. Um, so I mean, it captured because it's those guys, but it's different guys too. That was a different lineup of those guys. So it would be. I know it's kind of a shitty answer for that, but it's like there's so many variables in that thing that like to actually specifically like recreate that would be like you have to go that you have to like it's a time. I always feel like records are like time capsules, you know.
Mm.
So and in a way too, like records now, everybody's trying to make a lot of records sound the same now, which is kind of a bummer too because that's the cool thing about that record versus something else recorded in the same year will sound completely different, you know. And a lot of stuff now it's like standardized in a way too. So that's what digital recording has done in a way that's kind of a bummer in a way because it's like I feel like a lot of records sound very very similar now too. You know, which
Yeah.
you know.
So, are you saying there's absolutely nothing digital going on Teriyaki Moto? Is there nothing you can hear, like any digital artifacts? There was no auto tuning back then, was there?
What year was that? Was that recorded? Early '90s.
95, 95.
Yeah, I don't know if people. I don't know if there was so much auto tune back then too. In '95, but I wasn't really recording records at that time too. So I got into me. We never did us recording stuff. We never did it. You would just keep doing vocal takes till it sounded good. Like I don't recall anybody I worked with ever tuning our vocals. There's techniques to get yourself to tune better, but um, I mean, also I think that Marco's way younger. You can hear like his voice is like really high compared to now and everything too. So I think his singing was a little more pure in that sense back then too. Just more energy too. He's probably what in his 20s, right, when I recorded that.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
maybe
probably
late
like
20s.
late 20s probably back then too. So late 20s Mark versus late 40s Mark is a completely different Mark in that aspect too. You know, but yeah, I think like I said, lineup is completely different too back then too. So they've switched a lot of members since then.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you worked on the whole enchilada
Yeah,
release here. That
so the Rojo, like the Rojo's the one I did. There was yeah, which is technically the live side, but I'll not to ruin it for the folks at home, but the live side was done here. It was live. Everybody was alive when they recorded it, so there we go. So yeah, but we did everything but vocals here, and then they um they came and literally like knocked a lot of stuff out in one day. That entire all that music stuff they did it all in one day. We did it all live, except for there was guitar overdubs. So
so who would you say was the most like particular when recording? Who's like most particular about gear or wanting to hear themselves in the mix?
oh, you're talking about from that record?
Yeah, the enchilada live thing.
Oh, probably I'd probably say Justin. Like Justin was the one who was really kind of more. He was the one when we did the session that he really had. He kind of had everything mapped out in his head how we were doing it and stuff too. So I would say I probably more engineered that than produced it, if anything, for that one. It was really he had everything preconceived. He had everything figured out what he was going to do. He had his parts already figured out too. And then it was him with Matt and God, who else? I can't remember who came in here, but I think Justin played the drums on it too. So yeah, but they literally they blazed that record, but but they were like super prepared too. So yeah, that one, like I said, I was really just more engineer than anything. I didn't have to really think as hard, I guess.